Today I just wanted to do something a little different. I try and do things that are a little bit different because or else I get bored, of doing the same thing over and over again. Now this song is highly copyrighted, ironically. It should be like the anthem for the planet. Yeah, so anyway, here we go. Now I will have to stop. I'll stop every line. This I'm going to be extreme stops, but I'm just going to focus on the lyrics. I think that's the lyrics. Okay, yeah, for this review.
Imagine there's no heaven.
Now, like I said, I have to stop on every line, or else it won't work. But it doesn't really matter because we've all heard it, I think, pretty much, and we've heard it many times, sang by different people, and some of them got in trouble just because of the first line, or they felt like they were going to get in trouble because of what the first line says. Imagine there's no heaven. I mean, that takes away a lot of from the majority, I think, of people that in one way or another believe in a heaven, right? So, and he's saying, imagine there is none. So, so that's quite interesting if you think about it. And then he says, it's easy if you try.
It's easy if you try.
Yeah, the problem is that to try to think of something so, some people would say revolutionary or profound, or maybe some people would say, oh, he's so wrong because, they believe it. So how could they imagine that it doesn't exist, So anyway.
No hell below us.
I mean, not only is he saying, let's imagine there's no heaven and no hell below us, which makes sense, right? Because it's part of the duality of the way we think of our existence, of our human condition. I mean, in the sense of if there's a heaven, it makes sense that there would be the opposite. There would be a hell. It's this opposite side of the coin type of mentality that we have, right, as humans, and that's what we live by, generally speaking. The two sides of the coin.
Above us only sky.
So he's basically, as you know, he's basically saying, if there's no heaven, maybe imagine if there's just sky, as opposed to this fantastical place that many of the faiths tend to build in a sense of there's like a place to go to in the sky, But he says, how about if there's only sky as opposed to heaven, Well,
imagine all the people.
so that I'm just going to stop because of the line. I have to stop on every line.
For today.
Are sharing for today, and that's quite simple, right? If we don't if we don't extrapolate into another life and another alternative in some kind of afterlife or reincarnation or whatever, if it's just today, I think what he's trying to say is like, we would be more focused on what's important now, as opposed to saying, well, in another life, or in another, or maybe in I'm doing this just to go to this place, or I'm going to go to the other place if I don't do this or that,
Imagine there's no countries.
Here, imagine there's no countries. And this is what I mean by this should be like an anthem for the human race, in a sense, right? Imagine there's no countries, right? It isn't hard to do.
It isn't hard to do.
Now, countries, that's the other thing too, right? Countries are basically lines that human beings have drawn up on a map. Border lines, right? Saying, okay, this is my country, and this is where I define it. And people have fought for it, and people still fight for those imaginary lines.
Nothing to kill or die for.
Now, if there's no countries, there wouldn't be war between countries. That's only logical, right? That just makes sense, right?
No religion too.
That's a touchy one, because, like I said, the majority of the human race believes in one form of religion or another, or some kind of spiritual being or something or other, that so, but then there's the form of religion with, I think what he's talking about, some kind of organization or organized type of thing. So he's touching upon all the points that basically make the human race. In one form or another, we most people belong to countries, to some kind of faith, in the sense of religion and so on. So and so, like, that's why this song is so enlightening in a way, but it's or at least it tries to bring about some kind of enlightenment through just very simple words, And the reason, okay, I'm gonna go on here.
Imagine all the people.
Now, and again, I'm just stopping this just for the line, okay?
In life in peace, you.
Now, this is what I mean. If there aren't any divisions, that's what he's trying to say, within the human race, and it's logical, right? And most of us know that instinctively, that if there's no division between countries, between as soon as we have the idea of, okay, I have this country is mine, and that, so I'm going to fight for that country and against another country, and so on and so on. In the same way with religion, right? This is my religion is better than your religion, and so on and so on and so on, right? And it divides people, and that's what he's trying to say. And
you may say I'm a dreamer.
See, and he's thinking like exactly what I think most people imagine, in the sense of, like, imagine if there was no division within the human race in one form or another, right? And it's sort of like dreamlike, as opposed to, it's a dream to see it that way, because the reality of it seems so far from the dream, or from the actual evolution of the human being, the human species, to that type of level that they don't need all the things that he just mentioned, right?
But I'm not the only one.
Okay, so he's a dreamer, and he's not the only one. And there's a lot of people that would love to see peace on earth in one form, peace on earth. But the problem is how to achieve it, and that is by changing oneself.
I hope someday you'll join us.
And all he's saying is that, someday you'll join the dreamers, all the people that wish that there's peace on earth, But again, it's somewhat of a dream, because the reality of all the other things that he mentioned, that those are not easy to overcome, all those divisions.
And the world
the idea of, if there's no division, right, then obviously the world would be one. We would be one.
Imagine no possessions.
And again, here it comes back to imagine no possessions, and it comes back to the idea of division, right? As soon as we start talking about this is mine, this is yours, and so on, we form a division, and that's what tends to happen with possessions as well, right?
Wonder if you can.
Now, imagining people basically not having possessions is very difficult in the type of mentality that we have, because we're brought up to try and get as much as possible, and accumulate things and grow and get more and more stuff, bigger house, bigger this, and so on and so on and so on, right? I mean, this has been going on for quite a long time, and we've always had this hope, hope eternal type of thing, because we always see these new artists coming up that have those ideals to try and change the world in a good way, in a positive way. We're just caught in this cycle of history repeating itself in some way or another. Mark Twain said, history may not repeat exactly the same way, but it sure rhymes. So something like that, he said, yeah. And that's it. And that's why every generation we think, okay, this is a young, and the reason I'm doing this is because we put so much focus on these new artists, with providing hope for the future, and they're going to do something different, and they're going to change the world and this and that. But we were also, when we were young, we were the hope, and so on and so on and so on. So every generation has their hope in their children and the children and so on. But it's up to us at every age to change. We cannot depend on others or follow others to change, because as soon as you follow anything, any belief, any person, any specific thing that you start to follow, then you, someone has said that, I can't remember who, basically you stop searching for the truth. And once we stop searching for the truth, then we're sort of like a little lost, because we are dependent on somebody else's light. So yeah, so I just wanted to show this video, because this video here has all the keys to enlightenment, and if in the sense of evolutionary change in the human species. The problem is that they're just words for most people, and even though it feels good, they feel good and whatever, the action is not there in order to make that change. And it's a difficult thing, but I really adore this song, and this, from a very enlightened individual, at this point, when he wrote it, yeah. So anyway, all right, have a great day. Hopefully this is okay. Bye-bye.